You're a local business, you put time into your website, but your phone's still not ringing. Let's talk about that. So in my experience helping local service businesses, there's kind of 4 pillars that we need to strategize around. I think a lot of local businesses will put time and effort into one of these 4 pillars, but not necessarily have the strategy behind it. And the strategy just comes from understanding like what's the purpose of putting time, energy, and effort into this. One of the main ways that we know if we're doing this good or bad is by the competition in our area, but I'll save that topic for another video. So let's just talk about each one of these pillars, starting with what I think is still the most underutilized platform and way for you to get exposure online for your business, which is Google Business Profile. If you don't know what this is, it's a free to set up basically pin on Google Maps that says to people in your area that you're a business located in a certain area and tells them what you do. They actually give you a lot of tools, and I think it's really underutilized specifically for local service businesses. While a lot of businesses have them, a lot of people are not optimizing for this. So 4 things or 4 categories inside of the Google Business Profile is the reviews that you are getting, your business info, the type of media that you're putting on your page, and the post, which is Google Business Profile's version of like basically a social media platform, which they want you to be making posts, answering questions, or even asking questions, your own questions and answering them, and putting the services or the products that you sell and actually keeping those up to date. The big thing that I think a lot of businesses don't realize is how much Google actually wants you to interact with your Google Business Profile. So they want you interacting with it on a weekly basis, adding new photos, making new posts, making new offers, which is just a slightly different type of post, adding any type of media to it, videos and pictures before and after, getting customers inside of their reviews to put pictures on there. When you are getting reviews, responding to those reviews within the first 24 hours is fantastic. Really, even in the first 48 hours is acceptable. And then your business information. You know, I've seen a lot of businesses who just put like the bare minimum in here, but you really want to be going through and using every category inside of Google Business Profile and filling that in and filling it in an optimal way that will help you get the exact customers that you want. A common complaint that I hear from business owners who say that they're not getting anything from Google Business Profile is like maybe they're just in the completely wrong category and they don't realize it. It's because they haven't looked at the competition around them to see, you know, what category they are in, or they haven't gotten enough reviews and, you know, putting in place a strategy, not just passively waiting for people to give you a review, potentially even rewarding people for giving the reviews. This really plays well into if you want to run like local service ads, and just getting your profile out there and promote it more is a really fantastic thing to do. And that, you know, reviews is one of the big metrics that both Google is looking at, and there are actual like milestones that they want you to hit, and they'll start promoting you more once you hit those milestones. But also for your customers, you know, like social proof is a real thing, and so having reviews on there is a fantastic thing for your business just all around. There's, you know, strategies for each one of these. I have a checklist that I go through with any customer, whether I'm just giving an audit for them, so they kind of know where they're at, or whether I'm working with them month by month. We look at this, we go over this until we are dominating our area. And that just depends on your service area. What is your service radius? Are you only willing to go 2 miles out? Are you looking to go 50 miles out? Whatever your service area is, whatever the competition in that service area is, how do we move you up the rank so that you're, you know, the highest average ranked person in your area, I think is really important to look at. The next pillar that a lot of local businesses definitely spend time, money, and energy on is your website. The thing that makes me the saddest when it comes to websites that I'm seeing are like really beautiful websites, like really well put together, great pictures, even well optimized as far as like the load speeds and all the like mechanics and the technical aspects of the website are put together really well. But you're missing some really basic information that I have learned from, you know, trying to get businesses Google Business Profiles ranked higher that really matter as far as tying Google Business Profile and your website together. It's a very high valuable thing that you can do with your website, is making sure that Google Business Profile profile knows that your website's there, and really beefing up your website to support what you're putting inside of Google Business Profile so that they can trust that information even more. So the ways that I have done that is Google specifically asked for in quite a few places to make sure that your name, address, and phone number are the exact same on your website. They also ask it for directories, which we'll get to in a little bit, but for the website, they ask that your name, address, and phone number is the exact same. So if you have an apostrophe in the name of your business, or if on Google Business Profile, sometimes I'll see people put LLC at the end. However you have it on Google Business Profile should be exactly the same on your website as well. Where that goes and the tactics behind it and, all that good stuff are definitely topics that we can dig into. But just as a guiding principle for your website, that is super important to make sure that Google can trust the information that you're putting into their system. This is one way that they verify that information, is the name, address, and phone number. The other two things that I see businesses not doing that are really hurting them, starting with the location pages. So for your website to, again, continue to beef up and build more trust with Google, you want to make sure that you have location pages on here. Now, there's strategies as far as like adding in the actual official Google map to your footer for every page so that Google knows that this is, yes, still related to the same business is fantastic, but also having a location pages menu in your navigation menu, having an item there, and having the major locations that you want to go after, having pages with 1,500 words of content on them is, again, just another really good way to give more information to Google that this is what we do, which is in the service pages, but also where we're doing it. I think this is a really big missed opportunity by even, some really well websites that I've seen people pay, $10,000 plus for these websites, but they're not doing the simple thing of just putting the locations in there. They might list out the locations, but they haven't gone through and made each one of those locations their own custom pages. And if you can name neighborhoods or areas that you go to, the more detail and the more context that you can get from, your experience as a business owner on each one of these location pages is fantastic. It's really great for if you're going to run any additional advertising. If you're doing paid advertisement, it's a great landing page as you're trying to target those specific areas, and also for like your social medias, if you're posting anything about certain areas, to link them back directly to that page is a really good customer experience. If you're talking about a certain location, they click on it, they go to your website, and you're talking about all of your experience in that certain location, it builds trust very quickly and is a great thing to do. So I really see a lot of websites missing out on this. And then similarly with the service pages, this is definitely more common. It's probably 50-50 on websites that have this. And if they do have, a menu navigation item that says your services, and then each one of those services having its own page with 1,500 words, about why are you better at, whatever your service is than the other 10, 20, 30 businesses in your area. What do you do that's different? What's your commitment? What can customers expect when you show up to do that service? There's a lot of content that you can put on these pages to get them past that 1,500 word count. But again, we're trying to do all of this both in service to our customers who, might be digging on our website and want to learn more about this, but also so that Google has more information to know, like, and trust our business as well. So Google Business Profile, nailing your website. There's some strategies there. These go much deeper than just kind of the couple of minutes that I'm going to talk on them, but these are staples that I think if you're a local service business owner, you can look at your own Google Business Profile, your website, and just have some things to be on the lookout for, and know if you're not doing these things, they could really be holding you back. Similarly, on social media, there are a couple of things that you should be looking out for. There's a lot of different strategies on social media. There's a lot of different, ways that you manage the content and things that you can do to make your content hit home or speak to the type of customers, speak to your ideal customers. But there are two things that I've seen over the last 5 years of social media that really make a big impact. And the first one is the type of content that you're posting. It can be a little bit of throwing spaghetti at the wall when you first are posting on social media. But if you're paying attention to what is getting likes, what's getting comments, all that, that's like a great strategy to use. But there's one piece of content that is actually making your business more discoverable. So if you have a social media page and you've got 100,000 followers and you just want to speak to those 100,000 followers, fantastic. You can kind of post in any vertical or any type of content on that page, and you'll speak to the audience that you currently have. The flip side of that, which I see a lot of businesses that have even less than 100 followers, and they're just posting, blog articles or written content or pictures. Those are not actually easily discoverable by new potential customers or your ideal customers that aren't currently following you. What is short form video. So especially on something like Facebook and Instagram, TikTok, whatever social media you want to use, there's, reasons for each of those to exist and reasons why you might want to use each of those for your business. But the best content to post on any of them is short form video. We've done pretty extensive testing at this point, and short form video is the thing that gets pushed to the most new people. So if you don't have a very large following, short form video is definitely what you want to be taking advantage of as far as the type of content. Now, when it comes to like the video format and what you're talking about and all that, there's strategy behind it. But the best thing you can do today is just start posting short form video if you want to grow your social media and get known, like, and trust is kind of my through line through a lot of this. So if you want to be more known, like, and trust by your communities, using social media is a great thing to do. Doing that in short form video is going to give you the largest reach. The other thing that matters quite a bit is the consistency. So you don't have to commit to putting up 10 pieces of content every day, but I would say, what works a lot for the business owners that I'm working with is batching content. So take one day and try to shoot 5 videos and then post that over the month. If you can only shoot 5 videos for the month, that's totally fine. It's a great place to start. But the rule with a lot of the social medias is just the consistency, to get some type of consistency in place. And then the last pillar that is not spoken about, and there's a lot more technical information that can go into building the strength of your online profiles. But the easiest one that I found, if you don't want to get into backlinking and creating a SERP for your website and more the technical aspects, I think most business owners have heard of directories and can sign up for directories. So I suggest, along, with Google pointing heavy evidence to these are the 3 that they really look at first. So the Better Business Bureau, bbb.org, Yelp, and Yellow Pages are 3 directories that are completely free to make accounts on that I highly suggest for your area that you go ahead and add your business to them. The power is both twofold. One, if you have customers who are using any of these platforms, then they'll be able to find your business and identify and hopefully get in contact with you there. The other reason that you want to get listed on these big 3 is because Google then is able to verify, again, that your business is real and that they can trust you and that you're known in more places. Basically spreading a larger net so that Google can see that you're in multiple places is a fantastic thing to do. Now, the very important thing to do on all of these directories, if you're saying, hey, I already have profiles on all of these, that is fantastic. But a super important thing to do is right back to the NAP, making sure that your name, address, phone number is the exact same on all 3 of them, that it's the exact same on your website. And you can use Google Business Profile as kind of like the source of truth. So however you've spelt your name on Google, I would go in and change that. Whatever phone number you're using here, I would change that. And whatever address you're using on Google Business Profile, exactly how it's listed, I would use that on all of these directories as well. The one pushback that I sometimes get and do, see that there's need for is if you have different phone numbers for each of these so that you can track where your leads are coming from, that is okay. It's not the best thing to do. And there are other ways to track that outside of having those phone numbers. But if that's a system that you already have in place and you're happy with it, that can be okay. But definitely making sure the name and address are the exact same. And again, this is coming directly from Google. We've done tests to see the effect of this, but we also have paperwork and documentation from Google that's saying this is extremely important. So I try to listen to them and pay attention to what Google's asking for, and usually they will reward you for paying attention and doing all these things in service to really strengthen this Google Business Profile, because again, I think it's super underutilized, and the level of optimization that you can take with your Google Business Profile is pretty extensive, meaning that a lot of business owners, even if they put some time into their Google Business Profile, have not put all of the time to do all of these things. And if you're able to take the time or pay someone to take the time to do all of these things, then you can usually start moving up those ranks in your local area. So if you're a business owner who has put time, energy, effort, and even money into your marketing, but you're not seeing anything come from it, or you're not happy with the amount of leads that you're getting from it, I think a lot of what I'm seeing is just the strategy piece being missing, not the effort or the energy, but really the strategy, understanding why you're doing certain things, how you're going to do certain things. So I'm going to try and make as many videos here on YouTube covering that conversation. But if you'd like to talk to me directly, there's a link down in the description straight to my calendar, and we can reach out and we can set up a time to talk.